news epicenter with me, Marya, Shakil. The nation is still reeling from the shock of the Delhi hit-and-run case, when a young girl named Anjali was hit by a car in the wee hours of the 1st of January and dragged for 10 to 12 kilometers. What we have learned is that the Maruti Baleno did not just hit the scooty with Anjali and her friend Nidhi, but moved forward and reversed multiple times after the crash in order to escape the scene. The accused claimed that they were drunk and were listening to loud music and could not really sense the body under their car for a good 90 minutes when they finally dumped the body. Moreover, there were multiple eyewitnesses and extensive police cover during New Year's, and 3 PCR calls went unanswered in connection to the crime. In fact, the police reached out to the eyewitness Nidhi 48 hours after her death. In fact, Nidhi also stayed silent for 2 days, so questions will be asked as to why did she not inform the cops on time. The 5 suspects are in police custody and have been booked on charges of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, causing death by negligence and criminal conspiracy. The post-mortem has ruled out sexual assault, but family and friends are calling for capital punishment, saying the case should be treated as the rarest of rare, calling it a conscious murder. This case raises some cold, hard questions for the police as well as for the society, us, when it comes to calling out crimes in front of our eyes. The question we ask today on the show is, who has betrayed Anjali?
उस टाइम पर डिसीज्ड के साथ एक और लड़की थी और उसके मुताबिक ये जो घटना घटी है उस टाइम पर वो थी और उसको कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई थी और वो उठकर वहाँ से चली गई थी.
पुलिस ऑफिसर जिन्होंने जो पीसीआर की वैन्स को कॉल हुए उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया. वो पुलिस अफसर जिन्होंने एफआईआर सिर्फ एक आरोपी के खिलाफ दर्ज की. वो पुलिस अफसर जिन्होंने कमजोर धाराओं में एफआईआर दर्ज की कि जो आरोपी हैं वो बच्चा है.
ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यशील दुर्घटना है और मैं चाहता हूँ कि पूरी दिल्ली के पूरे देश में कभी ऐसी किसी बच्ची के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए था और जो भी आरोपी हैं उनको कड़क से कड़क सजा होनी चाहिए. एक बच्ची के साथ इस तरीके की दुर्घटना हुई है, एक बच्ची ने अपनी जान गंवाई है, उसके बावजूद आप इस तरीके की राजनीति करना चाहते हैं.
So, it's been 4 days now and there are several unanswered questions. But today, this morning, there was a new twist in this entire investigation. What came to light was CCTV footage talking about a new character entering this entire crime scene, Anjali and her friend Nidhi. So this is the footage that has come out in the public domain now. January 1st, the time is 1:17 a.m. where Anjali and her friend can be seen arguing on the road. You can see both the girls are arguing. Just 20 minutes later, Anjali and her friend are seen leaving this Oyo hotel, and that's where the journalist went and interacted with the manager, who said that yes, they had booked a room and the girls were there for a good few hours. 2:05. Half an hour later, both the girls can be seen on a scooty. Anjali is the one driving and Nidhi is pillion here. 2:05, the Baleno comes from the other side. So you can see those girls move here and then the Baleno comes from the other side and then the slippers are seen flying and landing on road. This is happening right after the crash. So what we also know now that for good 90 minutes, At around 3:34, car takes a U-turn. Body can be still seen under the car. So for those 90 minutes, when she was perhaps screaming, when she was still alive, for few minutes after the accident, did they not hear? Well, they say that they were drunk and there was loud music. Is that an explanation strong enough? And can this be seen as just rash and negligence driving then? There are several unanswered questions because this is certainly rarest of the rare case. First, let's listen in to News 18's exclusive chat with Anjali's friend Nidhi, who recounts what really happened that night.
वो अपने आपे में नहीं थी, बिल्कुल बहुत ड्रिंक कर रखी थी, मतलब उसने, तो मैंने कहा नहीं मैं चलाऊंगी, उसने बोला मैं चलाऊंगी। मैंने फिर क्या बोला उसको, मैंने कही जब वो मानी नहीं ना, जब मेरे से ज्यादा जिद बहस करने लग गई, हाथापाई करने लग गई, तो मैंने उसकी चाबी उसको दे दी। मैंने कहा ले तू अपनी चाबी बहन, तू चला स्कूटी। वो लेके गई आगे तक, हम ट्रक में भिड़ते भिड़ते बचे जी, ट्रक में भिड़ते भिड़ते बचे। फिर मैंने पीछे बैठ के मैंने ब्रेक मारा, ट्रक में हम भिड़ते भिड़ते बचे, क्योंकि उस दौरान मेरी भी मौत हो सकती थी। बस उस हादसे से मैं बच गई। मैंने ट्रक से हम भिड़ते भिड़ते बचे, मैंने ब्रेक मारा। ब्रेक मारने के बाद उसने बहुत ज्यादा ड्रिंक कर रखी थी, बहुत ज्यादा। हमने ब्रेक मारा, ब्रेक मारने के बाद हम आगे लेके गए उसको, स्कूटी को आगे लेके मैंने समझाया। फिर मेरे से हाथापाई करने लगी, कह रही मैं ही चलाऊंगी मेरी स्कूटी। ट्रक से बचे हम, फिर कह रही मैं ही चलाऊंगी मेरी स्कूटी। मैंने कहा ठीक है तू ही चला। सामने से वो कार आ रही थी, कार आते आते हम थे स्कूटी पे, मैं पीछे बैठी थी। जब मेरे को लगा ना कि ये संभाल नहीं पाएगी, तो मैं जब वो मान ही नहीं रही थी कि मैं ही चलाऊंगी अपनी स्कूटी, मैं ही चलाऊं, तो मैंने पीछे से बैठ के मैं संभाल रही थी स्कूटी। संभालने के बाद संभालते संभालते वो भी आगे बैठी थी। वो एकदम वो लड़के आए आगे से, सामने की टक्कर थी, वो आए सामने से और हम भी सामने से आ रहे थे। मैं साइड गिर गई उल्टी साइड, और वो सामने बिल्कुल अंदर फंस गई, कनेक्टर साइड बिल्कुल सीधे की साइड फंस गई। वो फंसने के बाद वो चीख भी रही है कि मुझे बचाओ, निकालो। तो उसने बोला कि मैं बचाओ। उन्होंने उसको नहीं निकाला। उन्होंने जानबूझ के, उनको पता था कि लड़की उनकी गाड़ी के नीचे है, से बहुत डर गई थी। मैं उस हादसे से बहुत डर गई थी।
और आप उसको अकेले छोड़ के चले गई थी वहां पर जब एक्सीडेंट हुआ, वो बलेनो गाड़ी से?
उसको गाड़ी ले गई थी खींचकर,
गाड़ी खींच के ले गई थी। तो आपने पीसीआर को कभी कॉल नहीं की, पुलिस को नहीं बताया आपने?
नहीं, क्योंकि मेरा उस दौरान फोन भी टूट गया था। फोन टूटने पर मैं बहुत होपलेस हो गई थी। मेरे को जो ठीक लगा अपने घर जाना। अगर वो हादसा मेरे साथ होता, वो भी यही करती, वो अपने घर जाती।
आप अपने घर पे किसी को बताया था? अपने घर जाके किसी को बताया था आपने इस बारे में?
घर पे जाके किसी को बताया था, अपनी मम्मी को बस ये बताया था कि हाँ मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया और ऐसे ऐसे हो गया, बस इतना। क्योंकि मैं रोई इतना रही थी, क्योंकि मैं परेशान हो गई थी, होपलेस हो गई थी ज्यादा।
मतलब वो लड़के अंजलि को वहीं पर मिले हैं पांचों?
नहीं, वो लड़के तो जानते ही नहीं थे, ना अंजलि को ना मुझे। लड़कों ने अपनी गाड़ी के ब्लैक शीशे कर रखे थे, कुछ लगा रखा था, गाड़ी मतलब काले कर रखे थे उन्होंने, कुछ लगा रखा था चिपकूट को। तो उन लड़कों की हमें शकल, मेरे को नहीं दिखी शकल। वो तो अंजलि तो नीचे ही फंस गई थी, नीचे से ही वो चिल्ला रही थी कि मुझे बचाओ, मुझे बचाओ। वो
कितने बजे का वाकया था ये?
गाड़ी ये रात को 2 बजे हम वहां से निकले हैं। ये 2-3 के बीच ऐसा कुछ हुआ है, 2-3 के बीच ऐसा कुछ हुआ है। वो गाड़ी ने बिल्कुल हमें ठोक दिया, हमने बचाव भी करा उस गाड़ी ने।
आपको पुलिस ने कैसे तलाश करा? आपको दिल्ली पुलिस कैसे पहुंची आप तक?
उन्होंने मुझे मेरे घर पे आ गए थे बस।
CNN News 18 has now spoken to a new witness who runs a sweet shop in this area, and Deepak is telling us that despite calling multiple times and tracking the accused, the Delhi police PCR reached over an hour late. He reported the incident around 3:20 and the cops reached only at 4:45 a.m. So serious questions being raised by an eyewitness on the role of the cops. Let's listen in.
दीपक जी, आप ये बताइए, आप एक चश्मदीद हैं, क्या कुछ देखा, आपकी आंखों देखी बताइए।
जैसे सब सुबह तकरीबन 2:30 से 3 बजे के आसपास मैं शॉप ओपन कर लेता हूँ। उस दिन 3:18 का टाइम था बिल्कुल। मैंने एक बलेनो गाड़ी आती नजर आई। उसकी नीचे से कुछ आवाज़ें आ रही थी, जैसे टायर फटने की आवाज़ होती है, गड़गड़ करती हुई चल रही है गाड़ी। मेरे से 50 मीटर से 100 मीटर के आसपास उसकी दूरी थी। तो कंझावला साइड से वो गाड़ी आ रही है, बलेनो गाड़ी है, ग्रे कलर में स्लेटी। तो मैं उसकी तरफ मेरा पूरा ध्यान था। तो जैसे बिल्कुल सामने आने के बाद पता चला कि इसके नीचे कोई डेड बॉडी फंसी हुई है।
तो आपने अपने सामने देखा उसी?
हाँ, दुकान के बिल्कुल सामने थी। मैं जैसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 5 से 10 मीटर का फासला होगा। तो मैंने 112 नंबर कॉल किया। मैं ऐसे कोई बलेनो गाड़ी है और उसके नीचे डेड बॉडी फंसी हुई है। उस टाइम तक मैं पहचान नहीं पाया था कि वो लेडीज है या जेंट्स है, लेकिन डेड बॉडी है वो मैं श्योर था इस बात।
गाड़ी के जाने के बाद ही आपने पुलिस को सूचना दी?
हाँ, गाड़ी निकलते ही के साथ जैसे 3:18 पे मैंने वाक़ा देखा, तो 3:20 में मैंने 112 नंबर डायल कर दिया था। तो मैम ने बोला ठीक है, हम तुरंत आपसे PCR कॉल में बात करते हैं। माँ ठीक है मैम। तभी PCR की कॉल आती है 4-5 मिनट के बाद। तो जैसे 3:30 पे दोबारा गाड़ी आगे से कहीं से यू टर्न लेके मेरी दुकान के सामने से फिर गुजरी है।
एक सवाल बस मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा, इस दौरान आपको लगा कि गाड़ी के अंदर गाने चल रहे हैं तेज से, ऐसा कुछ अगर याद आ रहा हो आपको तो परसों रात में?
नहीं, गाड़ी के अंदर इस प्रकार के गाने इतनी आवाज़ में नहीं थे कि वो बाहर सुनाई दे। तो उस बीच मैंने जैसे जनाब से मैंने दोबारा फ़ोन किया, माँ जनाब गाड़ी दोबारा मेरी दुकान के सामने से गुजर रही है। तो बोला ठीक है हम वहीं आ रहे हैं। तो मैंने अपनी इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल है अपनी एक स्कूटी, मैंने वो उठाई और गाड़ी का पीछा करने की कोशिश की।
एक PCR सामने से निकल गई, उसने ध्यान नहीं दिया?
बिल्कुल साहब, बिल्कुल। या उसको पता नहीं था या जैसे भी है उसके पास इंफॉर्मेशन है या नहीं है, लेकिन उन्होंने कोई ध्यान नहीं दिया, ना उस गाड़ी की तरफ ना मेरी गाड़ी की तरफ।
So a PCR van, he is saying, Nikhil, crosses him and उन्होंने ध्यान नहीं दिया ना उस गाड़ी की तरफ जो मारुति बलिनो है जिसके अंदर अंजलि फंसी हुई हैं, और ना ही मेरी गाड़ी को। सवाल पुलिस लैप्स का है निखिल, एंड दिस आई विटनेस इज रेजिंग दोज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स about the first responder, that is the cop, that he calls at 3:18, 3:20 in fact, and there is no help that reaches him or Anjali. Perhaps she could have been saved.
So Marya, this is the exclusive chat which we have done with the sweet shop owner at that particular place. So he has raised some of the important questions against the Delhi police. And in fact, while we were having this particular chat, he said 2-3 baar aisa hua that the PCR vans had crossed that particular area, but nobody paid heed. So this is one such thing, Marya, which raises a lot of question over the coordination between the PCR vans. And this is something which has been raised by former IPS officer Kiran Bedi as well while speaking to CNN News 18, that there has to be a centralized system. So if you talk about the overall case, there are two parts of the case. Firstly, is of the sexual assault or not, we now know. Given the details that the PM report is already out, there is no sexual assault, no rape as such, no injury is there on the private part of the victim. So that thing is very much separate. But if we talk about the lapses from the Delhi police end, it is the primary focus of the entire case, because here we are talking about the national capital Delhi, Marya. And given the celebration and the safety and security in view of the 31st night, the Delhi police, in fact, they informed the media persons as well that they have deployed huge number of police personnel on the ground zero. There are pickets as well, barricading as well, additional staff as well. But where they had gone when the entire incident took place, because Marya, here we are talking about a stretch of 13 kilometers. During that particular process, no picket were found. No PCR van reached on time. In fact, if we talk about the PCR van, we have been told that after 90 minutes when the incident was reported, the PCR van had reached at that particular spot where the actual accident took place. So there are some of the serious lapses. Hence the reason why the report has been sought by the Union Home Ministry as well. It is because of the political pressure on one side. On the other side, there is this media pressure as well, that the Home Minister had also he has formed this particular committee which is now being headed by Special Commissioner Shalini Singh. They have to find out as to what the facts are. And today, as per the details, Marya, we have been given to understand that the Commissioner of Police of the National Capital, Mr. Sanjay Arora, this noon, he had gone to Home Ministry. He has met
Home Secretary, and
Home
he has briefed
Secretary
him as well.
as well.
Nikhil, thank you
Yes,
so much for those details, and thank you for that conversation that you had with that eyewitness who has raised several questions regarding the role of the police, the lapses which are becoming evident now, and that's the reason why the lapse or the role of the cops are being looked into by the special CP Shalini Singh. So there are several questions, glaring questions, both for the cops and the society. Let's raise them. Why did 3 PCR calls go unanswered? If 3 PCR vans crossed this Maruti Baleno, why wasn't it stopped? How did drinking and driving go unchecked, particularly on a night where there are 18,000 cops on ground in Delhi? Why did it take 48 hours to contact the main eyewitness, that is Nidhi? Were the cops initially asked to go slow? Who gave that instruction? Now there are big questions for the system. Where are the government CCTV and street lights to ensure security? We keep talking about streets being well lit or not being lit. Where is that sense of security that the girls are supposed to be provided with? Why did the eyewitness and those passing by not raise an alarm? Why did the friend, this girl Nidhi, stay silent for 48 hours? Has the case exposed India's apathy once again, that we do not really care about who survives, who dies? Does this crime actually merit capital punishment? There's some more piece of breaking news coming in now. And we are getting the latest reaction from Anjali's friend Nidhi. She says that there was an argument that had happened at 1 a.m. as to who should be driving the scooty, and Anjali wanted to drive the scooty while Nidhi was insisting that she should. When Nidhi in fact also says that the accused knew she was under the car, that Anjali was stuck under the car, and they did nothing about it. They even moved forward and reversed the car over her body. Listen in.
वो गाड़ी आ रही थी, ब्लैनो कलर की गाड़ी आ रही थी, ब्राउन कलर की ब्लैनो गाड़ी थी। उसने सामने से सामने टक्कर करी हमें, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। हाँ, लड़कों को पता था कि भाईजान उनके नीचे एक लड़की है। लड़कों ने जानबूझ के इस मौत को अंजाम दिया। उनको पता था, लड़की नीचे से चिल्ला रही थी। उसको ब्लैनो गाड़ी 2 बार आगे लेके गई, 2 बार पीछे लेके, फिर आगे लेके, फिर स्पीड में उसे खींचती हुई अपनी उसके नीचे उसके कुछ अटक गया था। वो किसी चीज में अटक गई थी नीचे गाड़ी के। अटकने के बाद वो आगे गई, पीछे गई, आगे गई, फिर उसे गाड़ी बिल्कुल आगे घसीट के ले गई। फिर उसे घसीटते वो छुट्टी नहीं होगी, उसे घसीटते बिल्कुल आगे ले गई।
Several questions being raised again and again. Let me take those questions to the panelists who are joining me live. Mamta is BJP spokesperson. Reena Gupta, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Radhika Khera representing the Congress. Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. And Trisha Shetty is women's activist and human rights lawyer. Trisha, because today's development is about this friend who's now spoken, she stayed silent for 48 hours and she decides to speak today. And today is the day post-mortem report has come out. Are we
I find
anywhere
it
close
highly
to knowing the
perturbing,
truth?
and I think that is for the investigative authorities to look into. But I do find it highly perturbing that her friend here says that she decided to go home and told her parents, as opposed to do everything in her endeavor.
No, she just said, no. One more important part there. She says that I went home and told my mother that I met with an accident. She did not say anything about Anjali.
As opposed to going to anyone, even if your phone is destroyed, calling people around you, asking them to call up 100, going to any closest shop and insisting, or trying to take down details of the cab, of the car where her friend, that is dragging her friend along. Everything just sounds highly disturbing. It's also disturbing to hear both the political parties make this into a political issue. I think we must remember here that a young girl, a 20-year-old girl, was murdered in the process, and she didn't have to die. She was dragged for a long period of time. And this just goes to show you that this should not be a reality for women in India at all. Like, what is the value of a woman's life, right? A young woman's life lost. So here we must question all the systems that have failed this young girl, from the friend who did not report the crime and didn't make any efforts and decided to go home, to the police investigative authorities who did not answer the SOS distress calls, to trying to figure out how could a girl get dragged on the road for so long with no intervention.
Absolutely.
To,
You know,
also
Trisha,
the political
and what is problematic here is that today is the day that she has been cremated. This is certainly rarest of the rare crime. The politicians are, they are raising questions, as they should. But the larger question is about the role of this friend as well. She comes out in the public domain, Yashovardhan Azad. She doesn't question about the role of the cops, because obviously she has not approached she has not made a PCR call. Instead, she's going ahead and talking about her own friend and saying that she was drunk.
I think you're absolutely right. It was incumbent upon her, even as a citizen and somebody who was so close to the incident, to have reported to the police immediately. And why she did not do it is a very serious apathy on her part, as also the society. That if somebody like her, who saw that her friend was appealing that she should be taken out of the car and not being dragged, and then even if she doesn't report, then it's a very, very serious matter. And the other thing which I would also like to say is that this crime has now, with the latest reports that you have shown, has become so sensational that these people were aware that here is a girl being dragged, and therefore maybe it's a case of a sheer murder, because they knew exactly that she had not died at that particular point of time, but they were dragging an injured person. So
and going round and round. They're going in circles. The eyewitness says clearly that he spotted the car at 3:18, sees that car again 20 minutes later.
And obviously the attempt was to just get rid of that body, and that's why they were taking that U-turn. And thirdly, as you pointed out, that no matter, I totally agree that the focus of the police is on law and order arrangements. But if you get a call at about 3:18 and you take about 1 hour plus 45 minutes, then there's something is to be blamed.
Yes.
And I hope that Shalini Singh will look into it.
Yes, because the role of the cops, yes, but society at large. And this friend, Radhika Khera, what kind of friend are we looking at who stays silent for 48 hours? When she sees her friend stuck under the wheel of a car, she says nothing, does nothing. Instead, after 48 hours, she goes on this trip of character assassination and levels all kind of charge against her. So while we look at this case being clearly stated through the post-mortem that this is not a case of sexual assault, but there is so much to it. We are looking at cops not responding rightly, but we are also seeing a friend who has failed her friend.
Marya, what is really appalling is everybody from the cops also, there have been statements which have assassinated the girl's character. Now, when we come to the friend, there are so many loopholes, even in the interview that I just heard on your channel and the other channels that are playing her interview as well. She said it's questionable. Is she the stooge of the police? Has she been trained by the police? That's why it took so long for her to come in front. Or has she been trained by the family of the killers? I would call them, they're actually killers, because we don't know. She just knows that girl for the past 15 days. And she's talking about her character, and then for a minute she says that they were in a car which had black film on it. They did not see who was inside. And then she goes on to say, no, we didn't know them. How does she know that that girl did not know those men, or those 5 men did not know the girl, Anjali? Then she says that in one interview I heard, she said she's fractured her leg. She said she's broken her phone. How did this girl get back to her house if her phone was broken and she fractured her leg? Who took her back home? Who was hiding the entire thing? So there was someone who took that girl back home. And there are no questions being asked. And the police also comes out and says that there was music playing. This girl says there was no music playing. There's a different story that the cops are telling.
The eyewitness who spoke to Nikhil, he is not saying that either.
So the question, there are questions that you ask the police also. I mean, the role of the police is questionable here, and it is very unfortunate. Since the year 2013-14, we've only seen politics happening on cases related to crime against women or
That's
rape
right.
in especially Delhi. And it's very sad. We saw that happening. We are seeing letters coming out from the NCW chief in Delhi saying that this girl is as character assassinating, and this and that is happening. But again, there's only going to be a tu-tu meh that you're going to see between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP.
Yes, and
this
that's the
case will go on for
unfortunate part.
years.
And that really is the unfortunate part here, Radhika. And Mamta, come in on this.
Exactly.
Yes, there has been, the special CP here, Shalini Singh, will be looking at the role of the cops, what could have been done, what are visible lapses. But just look at what we know. 3 PCR vans cross this car which is dragging this girl, and none of them noticed it. There are 2 PCR calls that are made, and still she's dragged for 12 kilometers. The cops could not save her. None even realized that she needs help. If these are not glaring lapses, then what really is?
Or is it were the cops along with the killers and it was a planned murder and nobody reached there?
Okay.
Because it is very
Mamta,
questionable.
Yes, Mamta Kale.
Yeah. So, good evening, Marya. First of all, I feel nobody deserves to die like this.
Yes.
Be a man or a woman. The way Anjali, Anjali died. We've seen the most heinous, horrific, spine-chilling crimes happening in national capital of India. Now, talking about Delhi police, I just want to reiterate what Delhi LG has said. He's already told the Delhi CP fixed responsibility for any lapse on part of Delhi police. So whoever is guilty will be investigated and eventually punished, Marya. This is absolutely wrong that so many calls were made and they went unanswered. Number 2, this case is being investigated from all angles, though the sexual assault angle has been ruled out. But as Delhi LG has told the CP that strict possible sections of IPC should be invoked against all 5 accused who are already behind bars. Now coming to her friend Nidhi, who has given her statement, and she has just stated that Anjali was in a drunken state. She was insisting on driving the scooty, and she was at fault. But I feel those 5 guys and what we have seen in CCTV footage had hit her scooty, and
Yes,
the girl.
that's right. So it cannot be seen as just hit and run. This is culpable homicide amounting to murder with an intention to kill. That is becoming evidently clear. But Reena Gupta, in the aftermath of the December 16 gang rape of 2012, there was this commission that was set up, Justice Usha Mehra. She had spoken about what should be done for Delhi to make it a safe space for women. She had talked about how, the streets have to be well lit. There has to be an all-women's police station. The response time has to be faster. A women's helpline, all that. My question is, will it be just fair to say that the Delhi police did not do its part? What about the Delhi government? What about you ensuring that there is a framework of CCTV cameras to ensure that women feel safe when they are out on the streets?
Marya, it's shameful and it's horrifying that 10 years after the Nirbhaya case, we are still at the same point where women in the capital city of the country do not feel safe. Let us go through what all we know about this incident. We know that an eyewitness made 22 calls to the police PCR van. The PCR van failed to show up. After that, the Delhi police was actually giving a certificate saying that it was just an accident without even bothering to wait for the post-mortem report. We know that initially the Delhi police did not include all the perpetrators in the FIR. We know that one of the perpetrators is a Bharatiya Janata Party leader. His holding is right outside the Sultanpuri police station where this incident happened. We know that the Delhi police initially tried to put very lenient sections of the IPC. They put only 304A. It is only after the media pressure and the pressure of Aam Aadmi Party that one of the stringent IPC sections have been added. So what we are seeing is that in Delhi there is a complete loss of law and order. The Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, he is only interested in interfering in the works of the Delhi government. His sole responsibility is law and order in the city. Then why is it that
Mamta,
after so many years,
the point being made here, by Reena is also valid in the sense that there were attempts at cover-up, that there were attempts at the initial FIR. If you look at it, it was just hit and run. It was only after your political opponents made this a talking point and then the media raised it, the manner in which this accident and incident has happened, then only we are seeing this swift action and also the role of the cops being under the scanner now.
Marya, I have just heard Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson dodging your question. You had asked her about the responsibility of Aam Aadmi Party. She simply dodged the question and she started, pointing fingers at Delhi police. Fair enough. But all I want to ask them, because I don't want to play politics, I had not even spoken about Aam Aadmi Party or Delhi government. But now, where are those 15 lakh CCTV cameras which they were supposed to install in Delhi? Number one. Number two, where are the lights on street? Number three, and most important, didn't Aam Aadmi Party MLA, who happens to be the deputy speaker of Delhi, go to the incident place? And by the way, Marya, let me remind the entire nation that Rakhi Birlan's father has been, charged, invoked with 376D gang rape case in 2016. This is the true colors of Aam Aadmi Party. And these guys are talking about women's security.
Let's get into specifics now. Reena, I want to understand about those claims of 50 lakh CCTV cameras. Where are they? One moment, Mamta.
Well.
Yes. Marya,
where are the CCTV cameras?
Marya, let us not forget, whatever little evidence we have of this crime is from the CCTV cameras that have been installed by the Delhi government. Had it not been for the CCTV cameras, these perpetrators would have been let free and the Bharatiya Janata Party would have garlanded them and called them sanskari people of Delhi, like they've done in several other cases throughout the country that we've seen. Bharatiya Janata Party is always standing with the rapists. In this case also, they're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to
Did Mr. Arvind Kejriwal resign in 2016? Please answer these questions.
I'm answering the questions.
Did you
only because of
Trisha wants to come in. Let me bring in Trisha. Trisha, this is exactly the concern now, that will justice for Anjali get lost in this political cacophony?
I think both the representatives of both political parties have laid their cards bare by showcasing what their priority has been when it comes to asking for justice for this girl in this case, right? Just very simply, out of the police officers that have clearly shown neglect when it comes to handling this case, if they could just answer how and what is the punitive action that will be taken against the lapses when it comes to the police officers on handling this case. That is a very simple answer. If there is clear action taken against police officers who have a history of not taking cases like this seriously, not attending to these cases on time, it will set a precedent to make sure the other police officers don't engage in this behavior. And then we can actually talk seriously about women's safety in India and in the national capital. Instead, what we have here is political mudslinging. And who loses? It's again the women of our country that lose.
Women are losing because unfortunately, all the questions that are raised around crimes against women gets lost in this kind of back and forth. Radhika, come in on this and then I'll go to all the panelists for the final words.
Marya, what's really sad is since 2013, like I said, and we saw that happening again now, Reena ji and her leader Kejriwal ji continuously asked for Sheila Dikshit ji's to resign and blamed her for the deteriorating law and order situation in Delhi. Has Reena ji asked for Arvind Kejriwal ji's resignation now? It's the same case that is happening. Remember what you did during Nirbhaya? Now, even the BJP, the Prime Minister at that time went on and called upon the people in his rally and said, remember Nirbhaya when you vote. Now, after that, what has changed? Today, when there's a case like Shraddha's murder case that happened in Delhi, and especially, when the law and order situation in Delhi is under the BJP government, what we saw in Haryana that has happened with the minister case of molesting a girl. Now, this case, there is this eerie silence that the Women and Child Minister Smriti Irani has maintained. It is sad. She should come out and ask and question why are these lapses happening again and again. And she maintains this eerie silence continuously. And coming back to this, since 2015, Aam Aadmi Party has had 2 MLAs in Kanjhawala. And I'm telling you as a fact, if you go to Kanjhawala, even during the day, it is unsafe for women. That area has been victim to gang wars. Everybody knows gangsters live over there. A woman is not safe to go over there, and there's no police over there for kilometers at stretches. Has their MLA, last 2 MLAs, the current MLA and the previous MLA, both of Aam Aadmi Party, have they ever written to Delhi police and ensured that there's patrolling or police
quickly.
response over there?
We have just enough time for the final words. Reena, quickly, respond. Reena Gupta. Okay, there seems to be some problem with that line. Mamta, the question is of the lapse which are evident. The question is that is the security of women being ignored or overlooked only because it's national capital? There seems to be this clash of power that we keep on seeing. It is always Aam Aadmi Party versus centre.
That question is for me,
yes,
Marya?
Mamta, go ahead.
Okay. Marya, today I would want to talk about late Soumya Vishwanathan, who was a TV journalist and was shot dead in 2009 in national capital, and Sheila Dikshit ji was the Chief Minister of Delhi, Congress at centre, Congress in Delhi. And, there was no accountability, responsibility fixed even then. The women were not safe in Delhi. And I remember Sheila ji.
So, Soumya Vishwanathan in 2009, Nirbhaya in 2012, and you have Anjali this year, different incidents, but all of them showing that society at large is displaying its apathy towards women, and the politicians are only indulging in blame game.
That it is not true that after 2013 such things have started happening. This was my intention, to talk about Soumya Vishwanathan. As far as this case is concerned, as I have told in the beginning, Marya, that responsibility and accountability will be fixed.
Okay, let's see whether the responsibility and accountability will be fixed or not. Come in on this. Yes, Reena, if you're back. The point being made about the role of the Aam Aadmi Party here. You are the government in the state. Can it go beyond just political war of words that is playing out between you and the Lieutenant Governor? It is about safety of women.
I agree with you, Marya, that the safety of women in the capital city of Delhi cannot be compromised. Of course, in the whole country, it cannot be compromised. On one hand, we are beating about and saying we are hosting the G20 presidency. What are we talking about if we can't even protect the women in the capital city of the country? Now, as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, Marya, we have installed more than 2 lakh CCTV cameras. Delhi has more CCTV cameras than London, New York, Paris, any other city. And it is only because of this today that we know who the perpetrators of the crime are, because they were all caught on CCTV camera.
Okay.
The Lieutenant Governor of Delhi
Yashovardhan Azad, this is certainly rarest of the rare case. Is it being seen as that? And are we anywhere close to the truth?
Yes, it is being seen as one of the rarest cases. And unfortunately, as usual, the political parties are making no sense by their irresponsible arguments. If you're having more and more CCTVs in Delhi, you're not doing a favor to the people. It's your job. And yes, there are more than New York and more than here, because we need more CCTVs. The question is, by lumping everything on the police, you hide your own responsibilities. That is very sad. That friend of hers, it was incumbent upon her to report to the police. And mind you, no car, no citizen, no one except 1 or 2 brave men stood up and report it to the police. Yes, there is a lapse on the part of police in terms of response, but there are so many things which the society needs to do, which the administration needs to do, which the government needs to do. And if we keep quibbling, we lose sight of
Yes,
the larger
absolutely. Yashovardhan Azad, I'm going to raise that question again about the role of this friend. 48 hours she stays silent. She is with her at the time of this accident. She doesn't make a PCR call. She does nothing. And then 48 hours later, she comes and says that Anjali was drunk.
Drunk. Absolutely right. And it doesn't matter whether she was drunk or not. She was hit by 5 drunken men. And she was screaming for help where she didn't respond.
And her friend did not respond. Her friend who was sitting with her did not respond. When we talk about the apathy, this is the most glaring apathy that is evident. This is our system or society as we call it. Mamta, thank you so much. Reena, Radhika Khera, Yashovardhan Azad and Trisha Shetty, appreciate your time. Shifting focus to our second debate. This is clash in West Bengal just days after the launch of the Vande Bharat Express. Stones were pelted on the train near Malda's Kumarganj station on Monday. Window panes of the Howrah-bound train was shattered because of stone pelting. BJP hit out at the TMC over the deteriorating law and order situation in the state, accusing Mamta Banerjee of failing to secure Vande Bharat trains. The TMC hit back at the BJP and claimed it was a conspiracy to malign the image of the state. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had flagged off India's 7th Vande Bharat Express from Howrah to New Jalpaiguri junction on December 30th. There was a political face-off at the event as Mamta Banerjee refused to sit on the dais because Jai Shri Ram slogans were raised. So is there any connection between the political fight and the vandalism against the Vande Bharat train? Or is this another indication of the deteriorating law and order situation under the TMC? First, a piece of breaking news that is coming in now. And another Vande Bharat train has been vandalized. This incident took place near New Jalpaiguri station. Windows of 2 coaches were found broken with stones. Sources in the railways are telling CNN News 18 that there seems to be some planning behind the stone pelting. Kamalika Sen Gupta is joining me on the phone line. Kamalika, 2 attacks in 24 hours. Give us the details of the latest attack.
Yeah, absolutely, Marya. This is today in the afternoon when from New Jalpaiguri, Vande Bharat Express started off. Then this one window pillar glass of C3, which is near seat number 53, and one window glass of C6, which is near seat number 70, have been broken by stone pelting, and the location is NGP railway station. Now, in the evening, when this train was going through checking in Malda, then the railway people, they discovered this, and when this stone pelting took place, then also the railway people came in the afternoon. After 1:30, this train leaves from NGP, and then this incident has taken place. And obviously, it's 24 hours, and an FIR has been launched. Yesterday also, as one FIR has been launched in Samsi by RPS, and today also another FIR has been lodged by the railway authorities. Now, what we are getting it from our sources in railways is the senior railway officials confirmed CNN News 18 that till yesterday they were considering this as a stray incident, but they now see a design to it.
So there seems to be a design to this. It's a subject of investigation now. Let me take those questions straight to the panelists who are joining me now. Riju Datta, representing the TMC, Priyanka Tibrewal is of the BJP. Riju Datta, 2 incidents in 24 hours. The railways is clearly saying that there seems to be a design, because let's not forget that the movement of a train inside the state is the responsibility of the state police. So why is the Bengal police not doing its part?
No, the thing is, see, let me be very honest. The people who are pelting stones at this new train, the Vande Bharat train, they are criminals, hoodlums and lumpens. We categorically condemn this whole incident.
How many arrests have been made so far?
No, one second. Can I please finish? We have already told the necessary steps have been taken. FIR have been filed, and the investigation is going on. You know, the train, when a train goes, there is a long route. It goes through a lot of vacant areas. Some people have done it, and the investigation is underway. And I am sure that there are people who are behind it will be arrested.
24 hours, two incidents. My straight question is
my
question.
Yes, and the straight
question to you is. My question to you is, has any arrest been made?
That the investigating agency of the state police can talk about that, no?
Yes. And the state police is part of your government, right?
Can I say this? You know, in Rajasthan, there has been a train accident. The railway minister is there. So Rajasthan government is at fault. Vande Bharat train.
Riju Datta, I cover the railways as a beat. I am asking you. I know what is the responsibility of the railways here. What is the responsibility of the railway police force? And this is not. Railway police force is responsible at the stations. When it is about movement of a train, it is the state police which is supposed to be manning it and ensuring that the entire track is safe.
No. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd and impractical in India.
No. That is the way it is. That is how the responsibility and the duty of the two forces is divided.
Yes. I agree with you, but what you are suggesting is absurd and impractical, and the top railway officials who have filed the FIR, they have said that the state police is 100% cooperating with them.
Okay.
But my question is to you, why the BJP is making this an issue? Okay. Why is it a political issue?
Priyanka,
why
let me take that question to Priyanka. Priyanka, on what basis is your state president, Mr. Sukanta Majumdar, alleging that those involved in the anti-CA protests in 2019 are now involved in the ransacking of these trains? Why are the two being linked?
Firstly, Marya, I would say that this is another day where our heads are bent in shame, and it's all because of the government here. Because initially, when this kind of attack was done, because whatever they said was the reason behind the CA or whatever was the reason. But when this attack took place, ask them how many FIRs were filed and how many were arrested. Thereafter, what steps were taken by the state? Nothing. Now my friend is very eager to talk about Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. So let me tell him that if such things happen in Uttar Pradesh, what is done, the entire nation knows. Now, my question is, I'm not going to Rajasthan, I'm not going to Uttar Pradesh, I am worried about Bengal. You see, this is nothing new. We have to see that what was the kind of provocation. The provocation was witnessed itself on the day of inauguration by the behavior of the chief minister. And we all have witnessed the behavior of Mamta Banerjee that day. Now, this state has got nothing new with violence to do because they have witnessed violence each and every day. When the president of Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. JP Nadda, the way his convoy was attacked, when the convoy of Amit Shah was attacked, what happened thereafter? What were the steps taken by the government? So I have just pointed out these incidents to mention that this is a lawless state and the government here sticks to this to make it lawless. Not just it only sticks to this.
No, but why should people suffer?
Can I come in?
Why should people suffer in the state of Bengal if there is a political mudslinging that's happening between the center and the state?
The home minister doesn't matter.
I mean, people are at risk here. Just look at these images.
Then what about normal public? What about normal residents? They don't care. They don't care. And there's just one more point to make it clear. Now, another thing which I would like to state, we have to see what kind of incidents have taken place. It is just before a day. People in Malda, the TMC leaders were arrested. Why? Because of corruption. Now, I will say, like I've always said, who dies in West Bengal are Trinamool. Who kills in Bengal are Trinamool. Who is attacked in Bengal are by Trinamools. So, this is a direct link. And I think if the investigation proceeds, this will come out. It is the Trinamool who is involved. And I say so because just before 24 hours, they were arrested and dismissed from their positions.
Okay.
Can I come in now?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, I want to make it very clear on CNN News 18 that Vande Bharat is Indian Railways property. It's a train by Indian Railways. It's not the paternal property of the BJP that they will make a hula about it. Number one. Number two, the second point. The second point is the politically bankrupt BJP in Bengal is now using train, bus, auto rickshaw, toto and everything to stay relevant in the headlines of National Challenge and Bengal media. This is utterly shameful of them. And my question is, when she mentioned Malda, where this stone pelting happened, today the loser of the opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari, did a sabha in Malda. I think it is all a pre-planned conspiracy by the BJP to malign the state like they do all the time, because they are politically irrelevant and they are doing this stupidity.
Okay, since you can see, okay, Riju Datta, since you are saying that there is a larger conspiracy to malign the image of the state, but the state police is expected to do its duty. There are ordinary citizens who take these trains. They are at risk. Their lives are at risk. What are you doing to ensure safety for them?
For that, the investigation is going on. But other than that, let me ask you, you said that you have done railway beats. Now, back in the day when there was, coal used to be stolen from Mar Gadis and all, all these. Can I please finish? Have the courtesy. You're a woman, have the courtesy.
No. What courtesy? What courtesy? What courtesy do you want? You want all of us to die one day? What courtesy you want? You are attacking citizens of Bengal, taking no step, lawlessness, and you want me to show you courtesy?
Okay, one moment, Priyanka. Since you have also given another spin to this entire accident, you are also saying that the perpetrators are the vote bank of the TMC, and that is the reason no action is being taken. All these conspiracy theories that you are referring to, your party leaders are referring to, what is the basis or evidence of that?
Now, I'll tell you.
Good question.
I am not speaking here about the bankruptcy of West Bengal government. I am not speaking about their begging before the Reserve Bank and then create huge amount of loans on the head of the citizens of Bengal. I'm not talking about all that because that is not the topic of discussion. The topic of discussion here today is the CM on one side questions about Raksha Kavach, providing Raksha Kavach to citizens of India and moreover the residents of Bengal. And here what do we see? When they travel in the trains, they are being hit. Now my question for that connection here is, I am asking that when such kind of riots, when such kind of attacks, they took place, people were visible. Whoever did that? Whoever did that? Shut up and listen to me, Mr. Datta.
Listen to her. Listen to her. Yes.
Then I will mention about the riots. I will speak about the riots. I will speak about the Bengal riots. I will speak about what happened in Mamta. What did you do after that? Tell me how many people were arrested under the Rights Act. How many people were arrested under the Rights Section? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You don't have the audacity to do it. You do not have the audacity to do it because they belong to one particular religion. Those religion, those wearing the lungis are your vote bank.
Okay, I have just enough time for Riju Datta, in May this year, listen to me now, please listen to me. In May this year, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee wrote a letter to the Prime Minister saying that centre isn't releasing funds to Bengal for Manrega and PMAY and it should be done without delay because you have been, building houses. You have been, there have been centre versus state on multiple projects. You have been demanding more projects. Here's a train which is considered to be the pride of India. Isn't that the responsibility of the state police, the state administration, to not respond the manner in which you are saying that it is the BJP which is trying to malign the image of the state, rather than look at the safety and security and ensuring that that the movement of this train is smooth and safe?
When I was talking some sensible things, unwanted people jump in. You said you have done railway beat. So when coal used to be stolen from all these goods carriers, the railway took a step of putting escorts on the train. Remember, escorts on the train. Now, please tell me, because you are such an esteemed journalist who have covered railway beats, the police, the state police and the RPF and the GRPF will work in cognizance. Very good. But when a train is traveling such a long route, Even if there are escorts on the
But
train,
there are so
if
many
some
Vande
random
Bharats.
stone
Why
cutter-
is the attack only happening in Bengal?
Why? No,
Why is it being targeted only in Bengal?
Wrong. Please don't give misinformation. In 2 months, Vande Bharat has been attacked twice in Uttar Pradesh. In Ahmedabad, there have been robbery on Vande Bharat. In Gujarat, from cows being hit, his nose, Vande Bharat's nose being falling off. Every sort of drama has taken place
Oh my
in the
God.
country.
Accident
So please don't blame
accident.
Bengal. Please don't blame
So
Bengal.
then in that case,
They
since
do
you are
not
saying
have
that, no,
See,
listen to
the
me.
Prime Minister
Since you have
lied
said,
about bullet
Riju
train.
Datta,
No
since you are saying,
infrastructure of railway lines.
Riju Datta,
No
since you are
infrastructure
saying
of
that it has
platform.
happened in other states, then don't look for conspiracy related to your political opponents. And
made
similarly,
it
Priyanka
political?
Tibrewal,
Who made it
why are you
political?
attaching it with anti-CA protests and looking for some kind of conspiracy to do with the vote bank also? So there is a problem in the argument on both the sides here. Riju Datta and Priyanka
Who made
Tibrewal,
it
thank you so
political?
much for joining us.
See, uncomfortable. He wants to.
On that note, we have come to the end of this bulletin. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.